I'm out and
Well,
about.
Michigan's a lot easier than trying to make part-time legislature work in these.
Oh, yeah. I know,
That's.
I live in reality.
unrealistic.
You know, I live in what I'd like, I'm not gonna get it all. But I think there are some things we can push for, but I say don't go the easy route of making, I mean, what did term limits bring into the state as far as legislators? We used to get the budget passed on time.
Man, I've experienced both and I don't have any feeling either way.
It's who you elect. Yeah.
I understand.
I think the framers of our Constitution were pretty smart people.
But term limits federally is going to be just as impossible as part-time federal.
I mean, we passed it in this state, same time we put term limits on the state house and state senate.
Well, we're not the only
We passed
state
it, but
that
the
term
courts
limits.
threw it out, and said you can't do that, it's unequal protection under the law.
Tim,
You
what
can't have
about-
one state, so.
What about, you know, term limits are fine and worrying about that. What scares the bejesus out of a lot of people is who would have ever thought you'd hear about czars in the United States? These people have absolutely no one to be accountable to.
The president.
Well, whoopee, but in the meantime, we're suffering from the decisions that what I perceive to be a bunch of people that know absolutely nothing, really. And so as, provided you get elected, will there be some sort of push to either get these people in front of a panel in Congress and start grilling them as to just exactly what are you doing? And is there any way that we could possibly hold them accountable?
If you have Dave Camp as the new chair, instead of Waxman of
Well, you think?
Ways and Means, you're gonna have hearings. If you have Ted Poe from Texas as not the ranking member on Energy and Commerce, but as the chairman, you're gonna have oversight hearings, no doubt about it. Right now, you have no oversight.
That's exactly.
There was a fellow with a veto pen, he said, when I get in there, if Republicans take over, my veto pen is wound up and ready to go. Or not veto, I'm sorry, subpoena pen.
I don't remember who said that.
It seems like it was a congressman from Texas, but I can't
Could have
recall.
been Joe Barton.
We're gonna start subpoenaing people as to why this.
So if it's from Texas, probably Joe Barton or Ted Poe.
Pardon?
And they would do it. They would do it, and I think that's what's necessary. And you'd call the czars in. And, I mean, the president has total legal right to establish those czars. It comes from his budget. But he's doing it, and they have more input into his decision-making process than the Secretary of Agriculture, Secretary of Education, Secretary of Commerce. Those guys are just puppets, including Hillary Clinton, Secretary of State. Because he's got the czars that he's listening to more closely.
I hate that word czar, that just puts me in mind of the old Soviet Union.
It ought
They
to.
had a
does
czar
not.
for everything.
It
Does
ought
not
to.
have the
Yes, sir.
authority to do that.
Tort reform, is there anything you can do about frivolous lawsuits or any legislation be presented or anything? I mean,
Well, yeah.
That's part of why everything costs so much, because
We
it's
present
so
it.
crazy. I mean, I get papers in the mail all the time for class action suits. It seems like they go down the alphabet and pick out companies and class action suits, and why? I mean,
Yeah, and deep pockets.
Mhm,
Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
but you have to have a majority of members of Congress who will go against the Trial Lawyers Association.
But they're all lawyers.
Pardon?
Most of them are lawyers.
Yeah.
That's your choice. Who do you want to elect? I'm not a lawyer.
Yeah. Something I thought, because we go to court cases and we leave it up to a jury whether there was an injury or a suit there. We could give the jury one more level if they say, okay, this was a frivolous lawsuit, and then the team, whoever brought the suit out, would be liable for some financial damages, and stop a lot of these lawyers running around just looking to gather up anybody.
What about having loser pays like the English system?
There you go. How
That'd be
about
even
that?
simpler.
Right.
Sure, you can bring any lawsuit you want, but if you lose, and you've got a frivolous suit, you're gonna pay. And the lawyer will pay along with it. Now that would
That
have.
stops some of the lawyers from taking these cases.
Absolutely.
The judge can rule that it's a frivolous lawsuit.
That
and
cut down their
If that's
lawsuits
the
by
case, the judge can
75%.
decide to not only pay the cost, but also the opposing counsel's attorney
I mean,
fees.
there's all sorts of things you could do,
That already exists if the judge.
but they won't
allows
do it.
Well, the attorney has to file a frivolous lawsuit to the judge, and the judge will decide whether it is or isn't.
Yeah.
That already exists.
But that goes against it. all that they want.
Well, the problem is they don't offer attorney fees too often, they do go for cost.
They want their third. They want their third.